Don't write unless you have something to say. Several months ago, I read a poem in a poem anthology at my local library. I thought the poem was an excellent poem. Now, it wasn't exactly what I would have called a great poem, not too many of those circulating, but at least it was a superlative effort. It was a very, very powerful poem, but at the same time, it was a very, very subtle one. You could tell that the writer was onto something special, something off of the beaten path. The beaten path consisting of the usual stereotypes and cliches which make the world go round and which make most of us fall soundly asleep as it spins continually about its axis. Thinking, therefore, that I had stumbled upon a really interesting and unusual new voice, I immediately proceeded to search for more poetry by the same author, which wasn't at all hard to find, by the way. I simply went from the Poetry Anthologies section of the bookshelf to the Poetry Written by Just One Single Poet section of the bookshelf, and then, voila, I found my man. Apparently, Poet X wasn't just what you'd call a one-hit wonder, having published several chapbooks in the interim, as well as one 176-page volume. I selected one of them, not the thick one of the chapbooks. Then I read it through, cover to cover, standing the whole time by the poetry bookshelf, puked, and then fished out another chapbook. This one was also wretched, although I didn't actually puke this time. Finally, being a glutton for punishment, I fished out the big book and read 5 poems in it at random. This time, in my mind, silently, I laughed contemptuously at the clever crap I was reading. After leaving the library, I took a long walk. I live in a very picturesque, quaint town now, jarringly different from the place I came from. And so I often take long walks through it, just to get used to the idea, just to confirm that I actually do live here. And while I was occupying myself by taking a walk through this quaint, picturesque town of mine, trying to come to grips with it, trying to allow it to sink in, I was also, at the same time, thinking about Poet X, the bright new light that really wasn't. My conclusion? When you run out of things to say, or else lose the desire to say them passionately, then just retreat, poet, retreat into silence, with the world being what it is, and with you being who you are. If that doesn't do the trick, then I don't know what will.